Yo, 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 what's going on? It's Friday, we're live, it's the RedFlex.
Hello, welcome to the RedFlex Live, brand new Man United channel where we do match reviews, previews, transfers, everything to do with Manchester United.
Yeah, probably not one of my greatest intros, but
Probably not.
last minute, but apologies for that. So I think there's only one place to start, Abs, and that is to let everyone know that the RedFlex won a dominating game on Thursday. It was one of our most destructive performances.
Fantastic stuff, yeah.
Got them bowled out, what was it, 94, 95?
Something like that.
Something like that. And you're looking at the moment at the world's #1 bowler in last man stands cricket. Abs, how does it feel? How does that rank in your lifelong accomplishments?
Not particularly high, but I think it was more of a team performance. I think as a team we were fantastic, especially probably the first 5 or 6, probably the first 5 wickets, and then that last wicket we struggled a little bit, but they still only got a score which is less than 100, and we just rattled it off. I think we had 12 overs or something. It was a great team performance.
At some point, I think we are going to need to get some coverage of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. But we've got a lot of things to talk about on today's show. So we're going to go straight into the video. So the first thing, Abs, I just want to talk to you about is I think it makes sense. We'll start off with doing a quick reaction video on just the Roma versus Man United game. So obviously Man United lost 3-2. But it was a crazy game because we could have lost that game. But David De Gea, back to his best, is he, Abs?
Yeah, I mean, just imagine if he wasn't in the form he was in, it could have been a reversal of that 6-2, and who knows what would have happened? Who knows? I think in the second half we just switched off completely.
Yeah,
and just goes to show
yeah,
just goes to show the importance of our fullbacks. The fullbacks were shocking in the second half, especially for the first 20-25 minutes. They were getting exposed.
Tellers, they were just
they're in the wrong positions. I don't know what they were told to do. It was it was at one point in time I was thinking this might actually go to the wire. But David De Gea, with a mixture of fantastic save and a bit of luck, he kept the ball out on a few occasions where you would have expected him to score. It was a crazy second half.
We somehow got through. Cavani with 2 absolute goals that strikers would absolutely be proud of him for. How important is it that this man stays? I think we need him. The only striker at the club.
Yeah, he's the only proper striker we've got. And what really annoys me about this is that where was that type of striker 3-4 years ago? I mean, since I think the last time we had a proper striker was Ruud van Nistelrooy. And I can't remember us having a proper striker since then. This guy is Ruud van Nistelrooy, basically. Slightly different attributes, but we should always have a striker like this. How can we all of a sudden just say, oh, we need Cavani? I mean, yeah, we do need Cavani, but we should always have a Cavani-type striker at Man United. And that's really frustrating that we've not had that. We've probably missed out 3-4 years worth of top-quality striker. And that who knows what we could have won in that time.
Yeah, I don't think Martial or Rashford are the answers there, because I think Martial's a bit of a, how can I put this in a nice way? He's an enigma. He's a myth, Anthony Martial. But about Ruud van Nistelrooy though, I think the comparison's a little bit unfair, because I think Van Nistelrooy didn't score anything outside the 6-yard box, did he?
Yeah, but it's just that type of striker in the box. The movement of Cavani is just amazing. That reminds me of the movement Ruud van Nistelrooy had. We used to get a lot of tap-ins. For you to be a top-quality, proper striker, a lot of your goals are going to be that type of goal, because you're going to put your head in places where you shouldn't, and you're going to make runs and then be very brave in the box, where that will get you the extra 5-10 goals a season.
I don't know about you, Abs, but I'm somebody who, I really enjoyed the Cavani celebration, but ever since he's got these bandages on, it just looks so much better. It just looks so much better.
He just looks like some absolutely like rough guy, just literally just like he's been in the war, he's been in a battle somewhere.
Absolute machismo.
Yeah, exactly. He's coming back from somewhere. He's just come back from some world war somewhere, and he's just playing football for a bit of fun. It just seems like there's no. If you saw him in a dark alley somewhere, you're gonna peg it. You're not gonna stand up to that guy. He just looks really rough.
You could probably say the heartthrob of Manchester United. That's an interesting question, isn't it? Maybe for the opposite sex, though. Who is the heartthrob of the Manchester United team? Who knows? Maybe it's us. Maybe it's the RedFlex who are the heartthrobs of Manchester United.
Could be.
Okay, so we got through Solskjaer. He's got through his semi-final curse. Simon Jordan's going to be a little bit shaken now because he promised that United aren't going to win anything under Solskjaer.
I'm sure he'll kind of backtrack at some point.
Yeah, he'll weasel his way out. He's good with his words. Arsenal, the absolute bottle jobs, got knocked out of the semi-final against Villarreal. They let the Premier League down. It could have been an all-English final, both Champions League and Europa League. But very quickly, Abs, I don't think it's going to be as easy a game as people might think it will be.
Could be a tough game. I think United do tend to struggle against Spanish opposition. And what they're going to do is what they did against Arsenal as well, which they'll have in the middle. They're going to just completely pack it out. They're going to play a deep line. There's no way they're going to play like Sociedad did in that first. Like, impossible. That is not the way to play against
probably
Man United.
One of the worst tactical decisions that any manager's made.
Against Man United, you play the way most teams play. And if we're not on top form, we will get exposed in some shape or form during the game. So I fully expect Villarreal to kind of play a very deep line, pack the midfield, try to keep the ball away from us. And if they're doing that, who knows? It might just have to take a moment of magic from Fernandes, Cavani, or from Pogba or whoever. But it's going to be a tight game. There's no way it's going to be like the game in the first leg against Real Sociedad, because that was just a one-off against Spanish teams. We never tend to play that well.
I think we've been rumoured to be interested in one of their centre backs. Obviously, they got Raul Albiol, the veteran that has been going on for absolute years and years. Mr. Pau Torres, I don't really know much about him, but he's got to the Europa League final. Maybe there is something in it. Who knows?
I mean, I think at one point he was linked to Man City. So if they're after someone, he must be good. He must be very good on the ball anyway, at least.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a difficult game, a game that I look forward to. But I think we leave that one for now, because obviously there'll be loads more build-up for the Europa League final for Manchester United versus Villarreal. Just before we move on to the next part of the show, for anybody that is watching for the first time, thank you very much. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the RedFlex. Another person who's come out recently. I say another person, the Man United manager, Solskjaer.
Not just another person, is it?
No, not just another person. I didn't really build that one up properly. I'm still inexperienced, on YouTube, still learning my ways. But we're
learning on the job, like Ole.
Yeah, learning on the job. I wasn't not a PE teacher, but still a novice in the entertainment business. So I'll get there. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's not a happy man, is he?
Understandably, yeah. Understandably, I mean.
4 games in 8 days or 3 games in 8 days? Well, there's a lot of games. Too many games.
4 in 8. I think it's 4 in 8. And I mean, I'm sure the Premier League at one point were discussing player welfare, and we're going to try to look after the players. And they've put United in a situation where that's impossible now. We cannot play our full strength team in any of those games, I think, because we're going to have to kind of mix and match now, because we don't want a team to be too weak in one of the games. And we've got teams who are in and around as well, especially that Leicester City game. That's a key game for us. And we need to get points in the other games, because we don't want Leicester to creep up, because they're not that far behind. We need to, at the very least.
You talk about Leicester, Abs. Do you know that they were 4-1 down at home to Newcastle about 10 minutes ago?
Is that right?
Yeah, they're getting an absolute
in that case,
tonking. They're getting an absolute battering.
Fantastic. To be fair, no, I didn't even know. I didn't know what the score was. And yeah, that's great. But even then, there's no way in those 4 games we can expect to play a full strength team. Because if we do, it means the following game we're going to be severely weakened. And then some teams might complain that we've not played our strongest team. And it's happened in the past where teams haven't, for whatever reason. But it's just not on. It's completely not on. I can see why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's unhappy. I think he said the last time that happened to United was 91-92 season. And when that happened, there was a significant drop-off in results. So we don't want that happening, especially with Europa and then what happened last season where we're just very tired.
Yeah. I think the actual person who probably put it in the computer system probably doesn't even know what is even going on in football. He's probably not even a follower of football. That's probably the most
It's shocking.
reasonable thing.
But there isn't anywhere else the games could be. So to be fair to whoever's set up the fixtures, I mean, where else could they have gone? I think they've had to rearrange one of the games to move it one day forward to just fit this game in, because there was literally nothing left. There's nothing left in the fixture kind of calendar. There's nothing available, so they had to make up some dates in between. And this is what we said was going to happen. So I mean, I know the kind of protest has worked in our favor in a way. We've got some communication, which I'm sure we're going to discuss from the owners. But was it worth doing at this point in time?
Yeah, I think you could say we can't really just say, "Oh, we've been punished," because at the end of the day, we kind of had some sort of input into the way the game got cancelled. So you win some, you lose some. But I think that actually reminds me, there are talks that there will be Manchester United versus Liverpool, the protest, part 2. So. For anyone who's not been able to make it so far, there are talks, early stages, I believe, that there will be another protest outside Old Trafford. If there's anything like how the scenes were last time, make sure you try and come down and be a part of it. I can only say that it really makes you feel a lot closer and the attachment to Manchester United, and you can feel, that passion and the energy. So, and as always, if it does go ahead, the only place that you will be able to find, all the coverage will be live and exclusive on the RedFlex.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for all those who did watch our coverage, there was some fantastic coverage shot by a combination of Usman and Qasim on different days. It was some awesome coverage.
Yeah, and Sumke was there as well.
Sumke was there as well. So some fantastic coverage. And again, there's only one place where you can watch that live coverage. So again, I do hope you guys do join us for that.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. So I think there's a lot of misconception that it's just a lot of fans coming there and trying to vandalize or trying to be violent. Yeah, you'll get some of them, but the reason why we want to cover it and the reason why we're going to cover it is because it does bring change, and we are going to discuss that shortly. But we'll move on from that. So Man United versus Aston Villa, we've got a lot to fit in, as you guys have probably realised. So Man United versus Aston Villa, Abs, very important game for us in terms of we don't want the season to kind of fizzle out. We definitely don't want to lose that second spot. But what kind of team are you expecting, and what do you think the result's going to be, Abs?
It's going to be a tough one because I can't expect us to play our full team in any of these 4 games. I just can't see it happening because there's too much of a tight turnaround, which means if it's too strong in one game, it's going to be not strong enough in the other game. So I don't know how he's going to play this. It's very, very difficult, especially because I think Ole Solskjaer in his press conference also mentioned that he is going to look after the players. His number one priority is for the player welfare and to make sure they don't get injured, which suggests to me the minutes will be managed and it's not going to be full strength teams that are out.
Don't you think, even though they've played on Thursday, the full team could potentially play on Sundays? They've done that before, especially with the rest that they've had.
But then they know there's another 3 games coming up, like literally in 6 days after that. So you can't play the full strength team on Sunday and then expect most of those players to play again, because we're going to do 3 subs as well, which is absolutely ridiculous considering what's going on around us. And that's another reason why Premier League, especially clubs lower end down the table, have been extremely selfish. They thought because the teams at the top have bigger squads, it's more of an advantage to them. They're only thinking about their clubs. They're not thinking about the players. It's a shame. It doesn't seem to be about kind of player welfare a lot, and that's really frustrating to me.
It's funny how they've been called the dirty dozen or the top 6 that were involved. But if you actually flip it around, The other
Equally
14
as
are
bad,
no better.
yeah.
They're no better than anyone else because when they had an opportunity to try and get an advantage, they did exactly the same thing. You offer any one of those 14 clubs an opportunity to go to that Super League, they'll be running there. They'll be running there like, I don't know. I was going to use some sort of an example, but I can't think of it. But you know what I mean. They will be there, and I'll bet you on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And this is where football tends to be like that. If it doesn't serve their purpose, then the person's the worst person in the world. And it seems to be the case again. Nobody was talking about this when the lower league club or the teams lower down the league refused the 5 sub rule, which was a disgrace in my opinion.
Yeah, that was a selfish move, but not surprising though, based on what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. The very last part of today's show, Abs, is something that I thought I'd leave to the end. So obviously, everybody's aware of the struggle at the moment between us as fans and the Glazers, who obviously own Manchester United. So I think one of the main problems has always been the communication. And on the back of obviously the protests and the Liverpool game being cancelled, the Glazers have actually spoken, surprisingly, and they've addressed the fans in an open letter today. And they said, in summary, I'm not going to go over it because obviously everyone's already read it, so I'm not going to bore you with that. But in summary, they want things to be better and they want to liaise with the fans. And Manchester United usually hold a fan forum where some of the main Man United fan clubs or groups get to discuss Man United's long-term plans, how the club's doing in generally. But for the first time in 16 years, Abs, Glazers will be part of this virtual fan forum where they will be addressing the main Manchester United supporting clubs, the fan clubs. And you could say that is as a victory, you know, based on the back of the protest. But why is it taking them so long to actually think Old Trafford does need investment? Man United's training complex does need to be the best. So why now?
I think it's a combination of things. I mean, if they were so genuinely interested in Man United and not leeching off the club and kind of taking all the money out of the club, they would have done this a lot earlier. The only reason they've done this, their hand has been forced by a combination of the UK government, who are going to lead that fan-led review, the protests for Man United, which stopped a game being played. And then also, I'm sure they've had some issues with their sponsors as well. Sponsors are maybe not happy with it.
Because there was a letter written, because the United, I believe
so
it was MUSC, sent a letter to him as well. So they've got serious. They haven't got serious.
And also, I mean, as well as the 3 things I've mentioned, I'm sure it's had an impact on the stock and share value. So all those things combined, they are going to respond now because they know things are serious. It's not just a little kind of protest of green and gold like it was on various occasions over the past few years. It's now serious. The game's been stopped. They got onto the pitch. They had to respond to try to kind of calm down a little bit, but I don't think it's going to work, to be honest.
Now that I actually think back to the protest stabs, I think it always used to be linked to gold and green, like you said, or green and gold.
Yeah.
When I think back now, you could say that there was you could call it a niche selection of Manchester United fans that wanted Glazers out. But if I think back to the protest now, there was a little bit of green and gold, but it's now just the casual Man United fans. You know, the majority of Man United fans that were also there as well, that kind of outnumbered just this kind of green and gold want of getting the Glazers out. So I think that's main concerning for them as well, because it's not just a small group of fans now, it's the majority of fans that want them out.
And there was all the pundits as well, I forgot to mention.
Yeah, and the pundits.
Gary Neville was trying to entice it even more. I think
Ollie Solskjaer said he was. What an absolute legend.
But then Ollie Solskjaer wasn't happy about it. He said he wasn't happy with Neville's involvement whilst the fans were on the pitch. Neville was trying to encourage it. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but I also understand where Ollie's coming from, because it's affected the game. And now, because of this, we're in a position where it's 4 games in 8 days. And it has probably made a difference. We have got a response from them, but I think it's not just because of that. It's a combination of lots of different things. And I think change will come, but we are not going to benefit from that on the pitch at the moment. So it's a win, but also it's a loss.
I think what helps is our position in the league is, you could say it's safe. It's safe in the league. So
Especially
yeah,
if Leicester do lose, then I would say pretty much.
It's safe. Is it the right way? Obviously, maybe some of it got a bit out of hand, but I just want to finish this video by just saying, just to speak to every single Man United fan, look, we as brothers, we love Manchester United. We love it. We've been supporting it for 20 plus years, combined of 100 years of support of Manchester United. And something has just triggered it. And you could call it with lockdown and the restrictions and, a lot of things going on in people's lives. And we should stand up in something we believe in. And if we want the club out of the Glazers' hands, there is something that we can do, but we just need to do it together. And I just definitely promote to everybody that who hasn't been to a protest, who wants to support their club, make sure you get down before the Man United versus Liverpool game. And I believe it should be starting around 5 p.m. Abs, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just one final thought as well. I mean, it's fantastic that fans are getting together because they weren't happy with what was suggested and trying to be implemented by the Super League. But also, I mean, what I would like to see also is the same vigor, the same energy, the same passion for when it comes to racism as well. If we had the same impact and the same kind of response, the same outcry, then surely something would happen in regards to racism online as well. And all the hate that people are getting online, that needs to also stop. And we must come together as a United fan base and as a worldwide football fan base to stop that, because social media platforms are not doing enough at the moment.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think this could be a start of, I think Harry said it in a previous video, start of something wonderful in terms of the power of the fans. But that pretty much wraps up today's video. Massive thank you for everybody that's tuned in. And if it is the first time that you're watching the RedFlex, make sure you do like, comment, share, and subscribe. We do hear that there could be another protest before the Manchester United versus Liverpool game. I just wanted to reiterate that we will be bringing you all the coverage from that if that does go ahead. We will be back for the reaction to the Aston Villa versus Manchester United game. And one thing I've just noticed, I think next week we're going to have a busy week, aren't we? In terms
very
of videos.
busy week. So I'm not sure how we're going to fit in all the previews and then match reactions. It's literally every day is going to be pretty much now, isn't it?
I think we're going to have to work it out between ourselves. But you will see us, and you'll see plenty of us next week.
Maybe too much, maybe a bit too much.
Maybe too much.
We're there.
But make sure you do, tune in, because it is always fun on these videos. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we will be back soon.